I'm rather fond of it. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Misty Mountain Streaming. I'm the D&D Wannabe. My name is Rob. These people are cooler than me and also back for more Miskatonic Misadventure on Misty Mountain Mondays here on Misty Mountain Streaming. That's as many M's as I can fit into a sentence, and I'm still pleased with it. Hello, Existential Nerd is in the chat. Sassy Skittles, Majestic Biscuit, Ominous Watermelon. You know, I'm sensing a trend in your friend group, Katie, of adjective food stuff.
Yeah, it's something. Yeah.
Have y'all discussed that before? Is that news?
We have.
Okay.
We have, yes. And we also all have our like alternate personalities if we've been drinking while we're on stream.
Nice.
So like I'm the fermented watermelon. And
That's good. That's good.
We got a few.
Know, if we take the existential nerd as like Nerds the Wonka candy, then he is also adjective foodstuffs. So
Nerd rope, yeah.
I think that's fair. I think that counts. Hey, Cypher Road is here. Excited to see Katie, of course. I think you're the favorite.
I'll take that job.
As ever, guys, please let us know how we are looking and sounding. Somewhere in this room, there is a shadow being cast on my face from something. I can't imagine what. So while I try and figure that out, let's reintroduce our players, and they can tell you a little bit about their characters, and maybe some stuff they have coming up in their lives in the very near future. Why don't you start, Brian?
Hi, my name's Brian, and I am playing Brad Xavier. He is an ex-boxer who bears one or two scars from his life in the ring, but he's also an ex-student of Miskatonic, so he's one of those boxers that might be a little bit smarter than people believe when they first see him. And trying to think of something else. No. I am going to be at Emerald City Comic Con this next week. So if you're in the Seattle area, come on out and see me. I'll be there slinging dice. And and that means that I won't be doing my stream this week because it's just going to be too difficult to haul all my stuff around and try to get on there Thursday night. But we will be back next week, crossing our fingers. Oh, last thing. I'm using meteorite dice tonight.
Yeah.
Ooh, those are neat.
Someone looked at dice and said, you know what? These don't have enough pointy bits on them.
Exactly. No, I first saw those at New York Comic Con. I think that was the first time I saw them on the table, and I had to pick up at least one set.
If you missed them at that con, or if you have been looking for them online and they've been out of stock for ages, they were really popular when they first came out. We just got a restock this week.
Awesome.
This is as soon as I could possibly have announced it, for the record. You can head off to MistyMountainGaming.com and pick yourself up a set now. All of the styles, with like one exception, are back in, and I have a limited supply until they're out of stock again. This is not me shilling. This is me trying to inform our fans that some of our coolest die sets are back and leaving. But let's move on to Katie.
Okay. Hi, hello. I'm Katie. I am also known as Ominous Watermelon here on Twitch, across the internet. I do digital character art and I play in tabletop games just like this one. My character's name is Hannah Cooper, formerly known as Ellie Walker from our previous game of Call of Cthulhu. She has changed identities for some reason that has yet to be revealed. But yeah, we're here to hopefully find Cthulhu. So that's what we're gonna do.
Is that what the game was about?
Yeah, obviously.
Cthulhu is a missing persons and we're trying to hunt him down?
Well, that's what I'm trying to do. I don't know what you guys are up to.
Just gonna need to change some stuff here. Just
the shirt. I need that shirt.
The sad thing is, I've got a small rip on the shoulder.
I
went axe throwing with some friends, and there was a nail sticking out of one of the posts.
Both Brian and his shirt are ripped. Boo-hoo.
What can you do?
For my part, I am Rob. I'm one of the familiar faces, hopefully, around Misty Mountain Streaming and Misty Mountain Gaming TV on YouTube. I work for Misty Mountain Gaming, the company that puts all this on and provides us with cool dice to play with. And I will be appearing at a couple of shows this coming month. Not here in February, but in March. The soonest of which will be GalaxyCon Richmond. I'm going to be in the tabletop area. I'm going to be running a couple of panels, hosting some trivia nights. And so will these two ugly mugs. They're going to be joining. We're all going to be hanging out in Richmond. It's the other side of the
Hey.
continent for Brian.
That's true. I'll be there.
We will all be having fun, running games. You can sign up and play games with us, or, you know, like us as the dungeon masters, or us as the players. There'll be opportunities to hang out, for me to buy people drinks, for people to buy me drinks. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. And after that, I'll be going to PAX East. It'll be my first ever PAX, and I am really excited to be there and do those things. Let's see. Other announcements-wise, thank you to everyone who has supported the channel in the past week. Just to mention a few. The Existential Nerd, cheering some bits, of course. Dueling Dean gave us a follow. Our good old Violet Femme, our mini painter on the streams, gave out a community sub. Rifle Stud,
nice.
Resubscribed for his 26th month. Our Wednesday night streamer running Spelljammer for everybody. Thank you, buddy. Doubt you're here. If you watch later, thank you much. And lots of people that stream with us. Brian resubscribed this month. Continue their sub.
I noticed it was running out and didn't want to do the ad thing.
Look, only one channel gets your free subscription, and you gave it to us. I am grateful. TL Holdren for giving out a community sub. Thank you, buddy. One of our biggest supporters, our lore master for this particular stream. We appointed him without his permission, and he has not refused. So
awesome.
And also thank you to followers Speak Friend and Enter, Ancient Moose, McGinnis, Sick Eater ad Astra, and Do You Like Pizza? Yes, I do. Most kinds, as a matter of fact. That does it for the thank yous, guys. You will notice, by the way, and it has gone unaddressed this long, there's a book where my uncle should be. We had to put up with playing without Brian, and now we have to put up playing without Mike. He is having internet troubles because his dog attacked his router. And we will see if he is able to join us later on in the evening, but we still wanted to play and hang out with you guys.
That sounds like a sanity reaction.
Right? I think the dog knows something he doesn't. It's just trying to protect him from whatever I was going to do to him, from being ogled at the end of the last session. And before we get into recaps and playing, friends, I must remind you that this is a game played by adults with one another, and it will probably involve some adult content. This is an 18+ stream, the only one on the channel. We have all discussed what we are comfortable exploring in a tabletop role-playing game, and we are sharing that experience with you at your own discretion. Disclaimers out of the way. Are we ready to pick up where we left off? All right. So, excitingly, the Necronomicon, secretly kept at Miskatonic University's Orne Library, was stolen during Henry Armitage's retirement party. Brad Xavier, Hannah Cooper, and Travis Cole were put on the trail of it, along with one Alvin Barlow. Their investigation took them to the Boathouse, a front for the Irish mob. Descending into the bowels of the place as gravity itself was reversed for our heroes, they found the book, and danger besides. A swirling, flaming vortex where a wall ought to be. On the far side of the room of a ritual chamber, a floating cadaver, presumably, with someone we had only seen in the past, which is not nearly as exciting a phrase as it should be, given the implications of that, emerging from it. Brad put a few bullets into people in the room, and Travis Cole dove towards the Necronomicon, clutching it to his breast, and plummeting into the vortex. Flipping it to a random page, he reads aloud a phrase as Hannah overwhelmed by the circumstances, flees the scene. To the watching eyes of Brad and Alvin, the body that was floating in the air, with its head blown off by Brad's last shots, crumples to the ground. Travis Cole is in the room, slumped down to his knees, clutching the book to his chest still. And the woman, the nameless, beautiful entity, is kneeling before him. Between you, Brad, is a stone room devoid of furniture, with a chalk outline of an unintelligible sigil, with blood splatter from your upstairs encounter dripped onto it. Alvin, just a few steps behind you, you hear putting an extra bullet back into the chamber of his revolver, replacing the one that was spent. Looking at this scene, what do you do?
So the woman is kneeling next to, sorry, I'm forgetting his name again.
Travis, yes.
Travis. So the woman's kneeling next to Travis, right?
Yes, she has the hem of a long blue evening gown hitched up above her knee, allowing her to kneel in front of him.
I step up, level my gun at her, and yell, "Get away from him."
Go ahead and let's roll your Intimidate, please. Let's go ahead and get a roll out of the way.
Speaking of rolling,
I'm not very intimidating. You would think
Don't
I'd be more,
we-
but
don't we do luck at the start of every session?
We probably should. Let's do that. These are the kind of
Probably,
things we
okay.
forget when Mike is not here.
exactly. He's our resident.
He is our rules rock.
I'll remember it if it's
I didn't want to
beneficial
say
to me.
rules. I didn't want to say rules lawyer because that has that negative connotation. But our rules arbitrator. All right.
Yeah.
I unfortunately did not roll over my luck, which is getting a little bit low. What was the amount of luck that I gain when I fail to roll over it?
It's 1d10 plus 5.
1d10 plus 5.
Thank you, Eric. I see that. I appreciate you, sir.
The asteroid dice are not kind to me so far. That's a total of 8 luck.
8 luck, okay. But that just means they're being kind to me, so I'm in favor.
Ah.
I did not surpass my luck roll because my luck is already really, really high. But that's okay.
Brag.
For now.
So you added
No, I
1d10
used
plus
up
5
quite
as
a
well?
luck.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, I'm
I
actually
used up
capped
quite
out.
a luck. I was hoping for better.
I'm sorry. Thank you for the reminder.
I started with 41.
Now,
Okay, so intimidate.
newly empowered by your luck, what we
Dun
got?
dun dun. Let's see. Ooh. With my 15% intimidate, I just made it into an extreme success with an 03.
I don't know if my whistles picked up on Discord and OBS, but impressive.
Dang.
All right.
I take back everything I said about you, asteroid dice.
You're not attractive. You're not beautiful. I don't love you. But you do roll poorly. The woman almost levitates to a standing position. Not really. You see some subtle musculature underneath that gown explaining the movement, but there is this ineffable grace about her. She takes 2 steps away from the book and the agent and turns to face you. Last time, you had made the call that you were not trying to look her in the face. Is that still true?
Right. I'm going to try my best.
Okay.
I'm assuming there's got to be a roll to see if I succeed.
It is.
I'm trying to look right around her navel.
Okay. Plenty to see there too. but it does make you it does make the image of you being intimidating ever so
A little
slightly
less,
dampened. She says, I believe we have much to talk about, but this is not the place nor the time. I do not mean you any harm, Mr. Bradley.
My name's not Bradley. Oh, that's my first name. I was just thinking Mr. Bradley. It's an odd way to say it. So, still looking at her midsection, I say, I can agree with you on most of those fronts, but if you don't step away from my friend and I cock the hammer, then we're going to see if I can get this thing to work on you.
Noting the space that she has removed herself from Travis, she asks, how much further would you like me to stand?
I slowly edge my way forward, and I want to reach down and take the book out of Travis's hand while still keeping the gun trained on her.
Pardon me 1 second, work call.
No worries.
There we
Oh,
are.
excuse me.
I
You
missed
drink it, not
something.
inhale it, Brian.
Yeah, that was that was one of those moments.
I beg your pardon there. I've been waiting on that phone call for 4 hours, and
yeah.
now they're calling.
Of course.
Could you repeat for me, I'm sorry, what you had just said to the woman?
I had already told her that I was gonna after cocking the gun. But after that, I want to step gingerly forward, keeping the gun trained on her, and with my free hand, take the book out of Travis's grasp.
All right. You reach down to do that, and you make the attempt. He's staring blankly forward, but he has a rigor mortis grip on this book attached to his chest. He is not relinquishing it.
So I futilely whisper, Travis, let go.
She says, Travis isn't here right now. You hear from behind you, from the doorway, Alvin shout, grab the book, lad. Let's get what we came for and get out of here. Don't let her convince you with her words or those curves. Damn the agent, and let's do what we need to do.
So I call back, cover her, release the hammer on the revolver, stick it into my jacket, and try to pull the book with both hands out of Travis's grasp.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your strength, please. Just your strength.
That is a 19, which is going to be I always forget. What do we call the strong success?
A
Hard success.
Hard success. Thank you. That's a hard success.
It's like regular, hard, and extreme.
Got it.
All right. You wrest the book from Travis. His hands kind of remain where he is. His eyes fall from staring into space and stare into his empty hands.
I start backing away slowly, meanwhile trying to get Travis's attention. Psst, Travis, come on.
Alvin says, don't worry about him. He's a federal agent. He can take care of himself. We need to get that book back to Armitage, far away from her.
Hannah's no longer in the room, right? She went dashing away.
She went dashing away.
Yep.
All right. I give Travis one more look. And then I turn back to Barlow. Drag him out of here. I've got the book. You help Travis.
Pausing for a moment. Hey, Sarah! Long time no see. Hello! Your name has been below my face on this little plaque for ages. How are you doing, dear? Giving out 5 community subs, coming back with a bang.
Ooh, nice.
Sarah has been a long-time supporter of this channel. If you've been here and I haven't noticed, I haven't noticed. But I'm glad to have noticed you being here tonight. If you just got a sub from Sarah, please say thank you if you're here. And we will enjoy the little chimes here on the stream for just a moment. Make a, how would you say you're approaching telling Barlow to do this thing that he's kind of not really interested in doing?
I'm ordering him to do it. I'm a little bit harsh. Basically, my tone is suggesting that I don't want to leave here without Travis. I don't like what he just said. So basically, just Barlow, help him.
All right. Roll intimidate for me again. We need a hard success.
Oh
this time.
man, that's probably not going to happen. But
oh, that's what luck's
always
for.
luck. My extremely limited amount of luck.
Especially if you've already checked skill.
Actually, that is doable. I rolled a 28, which means I'm going to need to spend 21 luck.
To get down to a hard success? Well, you got 10 for free up here.
Okay, and I can add on.
Yes.
Okay, I'll use up my 10
Boop.
and add another 11 to turn it into a hard success.
And there you are. It was reimbursed instantly.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Alvin shoves the gun into his belt and starts crossing over to Travis. You're standing there holding the book, and the woman, just with her hands kind of folded in front of her, says, "You have chosen your friends poorly, Mr. Bradley. A man with your interests should know better."
I look over at Barlow, shrug a little. We take what we can get.
What you're doing I want you to consider whose aims you are serving, and whether or not you consider them worthy. Playing against me prevents nothing, only delays it a little.
I pause for a second, still resisting the urge to look her in the eye. Since I know nothing about you or what you want, I don't know what playing against you is. All I do know is that I've wanted to look at this book for a long time.
I don't suppose you'd be interested in looking at it together.
After what I've seen in here, I think I'll take my chances on my own. Thank you. And I start backing up as hopefully Barlow is dragging
the 6'6" body of Travis Cole,
dragging the giant out of the out of the chamber.
The woman says, "You admitted that you did not know what working against me might mean. Allow me to show you. And she gently lifts one hand from where it was folded in front of her, in the direction of the headless corpse of Sean O'Malley that you shot moments ago. You watch as from the empty neck where a head once rested, a black tongue emerges. It squirms, wriggling in the freedom of fresh air. And then it grows. More of it emerges, lengthening, engorging, stretching the neck. A similar appendage erupts from the left ring finger fingernail, and then the right thumb, and then from every conceivable orifice of this cadaver, black, shapeless mass begins to erupt, turning the body inside out before you into something impossibly large to be contained within. The wriggling mass is teeming with eyes, teeth, claws, everything but a bone. God, what you would give for a bone, any semblance of structure to this thing. You've never seen anything like this before. You hope never to again, though in books you have read only once, fearing to read them again, you remember the word Shoggoth, and now have a new appreciation for it, if your mind can handle the strain.
I'm assuming there's a sanity roll coming.
A sanity roll for yourself and Alvin. Mercifully, Travis is still looking at his empty hands.
Yeah, he's not seeing anything.
He is not seeing anything.
I succeeded in my sanity check.
Brilliant.
With a 68, because, like I said, my sanity is fairly solid, but I'm assuming there's still going to be a loss here.
Oh, yes.
A Shoggoth is nothing to...
No, I
to
was...
thumb your nose at.
I was ready to whip out the 1d10 or 1d20 sanity loss if you failed.
Which is fair.
Instead, you get off with a measly 1d6.
And am I rolling that myself?
Yes, please.
Okay. Oh, I lose one sanity.
Wow,
I am
man.
Rock solid.
You are a hard motherfucker, man. You have seen
I can't make it.
Shit. Good thing you read that book one time.
So whenever I think of Shoggoths, I used to play a lot of Eldritch Horror, and that's the one monster tag you don't want to bring up.
Yeah. Man, guys, chat, I tried, okay? I tried to give him an insane talent. You all saw me. He didn't want it. He's not interested. He's not gonna play with the rest of the gang. Holdren, hey Holdren. And Leo Yeager is here. Holdren is happy that a Shoggoth has made an appearance.
Woohoo!
The kind of thing that I was too scared to put in front of normal Cthulhu players, because it might kill them. Alright, before we deal with ramifications, let's go upstairs. Unaware of this conversation and this thing that has just appeared in the ritual chamber, that was once just a nice spot for very bad men to pleasantly kill some time. What is Hannah doing? You have erupted back into the dock room, where previously two mobsters were hiding while you had a conversation. Outside, in one direction, last you recall, is a completely upside-down world.
Right, right.
And then the other direction is a tap room with some dead bodies, a young man whose life has been threatened, and an old man who could not give a fuck.
Right. So assuming I'm still under the effects of my momentary bout of personality disorder.
Yes, T.L. Holdren asks, who is Hannah?
Right. Assuming I'm still under the effects of that. Hannah is
And for the record, yes, you are.
Yeah. I am deciding that the situation downstairs is not something that we should be handling alone. So I'm heading back towards the tap room where the old man is to see if they have a phone, and I'm going to try and call the police.
Okay. As you are running across the ceiling,
Yeah.
you are suddenly walking on air and heading headfirst towards the floor.
Oh no. Okay. I'm going to do my best to do like a cat twist and land like without hurting myself.
That sounds good. Just roll your dexterity for me, please.
Okay.
Did you check your first intimidate, by the way, Brad?
Oh,
Where you succeeded without luck?
you're absolutely right. I'm thinking that is going to be a success in my future. I shouldn't say that. It's possible I could miss that roll. All right.
All right. Hannah, how'd the dex roll go?
I have passed with a regular success.
Okay. You manage to feel this adjustment as it happens. You kind of put your shoulder and tumble into it. It smarts a little, but it doesn't really hurt or slow you down. So you tumble through this room and you start making your way to that front room, that tap room, see if they have a phone. You think you remember seeing one, as a matter of fact, behind the bar.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You emerge into that room, and there is Dara, his hands still bound together with a bit of saline rope. And the old man, who is sweeping along. Dara is kind of upside down on the bar at the moment. Seems like he just underwent a similar experience and is slower at extricating himself than you are. Good old Seamus still not giving a shit. Smoking a
Seamus
cigarette.
like on his feet? Okay,
Yep.
yeah, he's okay.
Smoking a cigarette and sweeping up.
This man is the final cryptid, I feel like.
You go back in the
Okay.
in the after credit scene of this and realize he's a great old one, just chilling here with the Irish mob.
Just sweeping, just like same shit, different day. Okay, I'm gonna go in the room. Hannah definitely has this facial expression of like panic and like kind of wide-eyed just fear. So I'm gonna go up to the bar and look at the man who's sweeping. Say, I need your phone. If I need to use your phone, can you tell me where it is, please?
Points back to the wall.
All right, I'm gonna go over
him.
there. He's the best. My favorite for sure. Okay, I'm gonna go where he points.
All right, there is a phone on the wall. You pick it up and are pretty immediately connected with the operator.
Okay. I know it's probably late at this point. Once I'm connected with the operator, I'll say I need to speak to the local law enforcement, please. I'm calling from the docks, just outside of Miskatonic University.
You hear, "Sure thing, one moment." Smacking on some gum. You hear a loud pop as she is not very gentle with the switchboard. And a couple of rings later, Police station.
Hello. I'm so sorry to
Hello.
bother you at this hour.
No, no trouble at all. How can I help you?
Well, there's been an altercation. There's some issues happening at the docks at a
Oh,
a
slow
bar.
down, ma'am. I am just a humble policeman. You're using awful fancy words for the likes of me.
Well, someone's been hurt,
Oh, no.
and there's weapons, and I'm not comfortable really describing the things that I've seen tonight, but I do think you should send someone as soon as possible.
Oh, absolutely. First of all, and you hear, like, papers rustling. Let me see. I have it here. Let's see. Are you in a safe location?
No.
Oh.
I mean,
can you get
maybe.
to one?
No.
Oh, dear. Oh, shit. You hear paper. Where are you?
What was the bar called? It's the Boathouse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm at a bar, just off of the river called the Boathouse.
Oh, I know that place. Oh, yes, I know where you are. I know you can't. You said you didn't want to tell me what's going on. How many? What's the severity of the situation? Should I just come down there myself, or?
Oh, very severe.
Oh.
Yes, I would recommend sending all of the people you can.
Okay, so me, Greg, and Tim.
All three of you, yes.
Well, all right. Don't you fret, man. What's your name?
You can call me Eleanor.
Eleanor. Get yourself somewhere safe. Hide the best you can. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Yes, sir. Of course.
Greg! Tim! We got a hot one! And, you hear a click on the other end of the line.
All right. I will hang the phone back up, and by this point...
Players, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to all law enforcement.
Yeah. At this point, like, nerves are shot. I'm gonna take, like, a, whatever pack of, like, cigarettes. I think I literally took them from Travis earlier.
Probably,
I'm gonna
yeah.
take one out and, like, put one in my mouth and just light it and just stand there, like, hands shaking, kind of, like, not sure what to do next.
The tied-up kid, Dara, Are you alright?
Oh, I am so sorry. And I'm going to run over to him and start untying him. I am so sorry about this. I don't know what I was thinking. You should probably leave.
I would like to, yeah.
You're too young.
Lots of people have died. You and your friends have killed some people. In front of me and everything.
I don't know what you're talking about concerning that, but I think that you should probably go and probably leave the city and never come back. Or,
make a persuasion check.
Oh no. I have failed. Yeah, definitely failed that. I rolled a 90. I would have needed a 10.
Okay. As ever in Call of Cthulhu, you have the opportunity to spend luck or push the roll if you wish to. I don't know if Eleanor is interested in pushing a roll.
I don't think so.
Not really.
Probably not. No.
I have a quick mechanical question.
Yeah.
Just if you do push a roll, are you allowed to use luck on the second roll or no?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. I just wanted to make sure.
So
that was the case.
It's out of the role play, it's a really important mechanic when you don't have all of this luck to spend that Pulp Cthulhu gives you. A way to kind of manufacture a success for yourself at some higher stakes. The way that we're playing it, luck is
so when you're going to push it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Got it.
But I will always be excited for you to push a roll because that takes the brakes off me,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one's not worth it, and even if I did, I have a very low chance of succeeding anyways.
I think it would. I mean, maybe not leave town. I mean, the few remaining members of my family are here now. But excuse me. And he will start going to the door.
Oh, I'm gonna catch him before he leaves, and it just kind of like grab his sleeve real quick. You know, nothing
Right.
like violent or anything. Just be like, listen, I know you're probably a good kid, and you just got wrapped up in some bad stuff, you know, and you know, I hate that I contributed to that. And
Me too,
I just
frankly.
want you to know, yeah, sorry about all the murder. I just want you to know that if you need anything, just let me know. You can call me. I don't have a phone. But you can find me. I'm gonna like tell him like the hotel I'm staying in. You can find me here and just let me, you know, just call, you know, just let me know if you need anything. You seem like a good kid.
Thanks. Can I leave now?
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, the
Okay.
police are on the way, so you should go.
Oh, well. Hope you won't mind me saying, I hope they arrest you and everyone that you came in here with.
That's fair. I understand that,
All right,
actually.
well,
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish you the best of luck, but goodbye. He leaves.
Have a good night.
It is about this time that your rounds of Eleanor expire.
Yeah, I figured.
Let's check in with what Hannah remembers. Hannah remembers a flaming portal, a upwards walking woman, a floating Irish mobster, an open floating book, blood on a sigil chalked onto the ground, a guy's head getting blown off, and Travis kind of flinging himself into the ether. What is Hannah's call now that she's able to make one?
Okay. So I'm imagining her like kind of mid-wave to Dara as he's going out the door. Just like, wait a second. Okay. Gonna take a look around, realize I'm back in the tap room. I'll look at the man who's sweeping still, I'm sure. Just kind of look around for a minute, just be like, well, shit. Do I remember everything I just did? Like the calling the police and letting Dara go? Is that in the memories? Okay.
No,
Okay.
actually, that's somewhat important, isn't it? Do we establish now that you don't just have an alter ego, you have split personalities? No, you remember.
I remember. Okay. Okay.
I think part of it would depend on whether she'd compartmentalized old memories. If this is like a pattern for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, if
Brian's
I
rider
remember,
is showing.
right. Right. Well, if I remember, that is going to instantly set in some panic because I am aware of two things. One, the police are on the way, and two, my friends are downstairs and very likely to be arrested once they get here. And also, those police may die if Cthulhu is loose in the basement. I'm good.
We don't know Cthulhu is loose in the basement.
Well, I know that woman is loose in the
So
basement.
let's face it, it doesn't take Cthulhu to be loose in the basement. I mean, a couple of deep ones that do the trick.
Yeah, we don't even. Yeah, we're just the small guys. Hey, I feel a wrestling with self-preservation here because it would probably be smarter to just leave them to their fate at this moment. But I think that the guilt of leaving Travis behind would override that for this moment. Especially because from all I know, he might be in peril. So I think she will probably make sure the Derringer's reloaded. I'm gonna go back downstairs and see if I can at least warn them, like, hey, we need to leave now.
All right.
Downstairs, kind of downstairs.
Returning to the trap door is much simpler. now that you're on the same, side of gravity as it.
Right, yeah.
And for the first time, you descend the stairs. Technically. To go down to the secret basement. And as you are descending, we should really get into initiative.
Ew. Okay.
So, I'm going to have the two of you roll for the NPCs in the room.
Okay.
I am going to do a little Travis stuff. And I'm going to do the Shoggoth. And you, Brian, should roll for Alvin. Just let me know what you get. And you, Katie, should roll for the Nameless Woman.
Okay.
Remind me again, I know initiative generally isn't a part of a lot of Cthulhu rolls. Are we just doing it like a Dungeons & Dragons initiative with a D20?
We are doing it with percentile.
With percentile, and it's a dexterity check, right?
It is a dexterity check, and your level of success will determine when you go.
Perfect. Okay, so Barlow, I'll roll for him first.
No!
Ooh, Barlow's got a 15. I think he might be pretty strong.
Nice, okay. Make sure where this goes.
And I have a 51, which would be a standard success for me.
Okay. How'd it go for Hannah?
Well, for the woman that has not been named, I rolled a 50.
Okay.
Solid 50. And then for Hannah, it's a dex check, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that is an extreme success. With an 11.
Nice. All right. Hannah.
Yes.
You reach the bottom of the stairs. You look across the room, and in the direction of the federal agent you feel bad about abandoning, and the other people you abandoned that you may feel less bad about. You're going to see this black mass of protoplasm that has engulfed the center of this room. So thank you very much for returning. Guess what you get to do?
Vanity.
All right. Oh boy. Okay. My sanity is getting concerningly low. That is a failure by quite a large margin, actually.
Well, you remember what I said old Brian might have to roll if he failed?
I don't.
Brian, do you remember?
Oh, yeah.
Would you like to share with
A
Katie?
D20?
A
No.
D20.
Rob!
This is like some terrifying ass shit you are seeing right now.
Okay. Oh, also, good question that was brought up by chat. Do I need to, like, say out loud or reveal, like, what I chose to be my insane talent from last time?
You know, we should absolutely talk about it on stream.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily have to interrupt the scene to do it. But
Okay,
the chat deserves to know, and we will not keep it secret.
We'll save that for at some point, then. I don't think it's relevant right now, anyways. Okay, I rolled a 7.
A 7. You know, in the grand scheme of a D20, that's not...
That's not horrible.
Yeah.
considering current sanity loss now, that might be another matter.
Yeah.
So, thankfully, you are still in the presence of sane people.
Mhm.
So you're not just going into a bout of madness right now. What is going to happen, as we reference Mike's handy dandy chart for sanity things. DM Diggy Squirrel on YouTube. He makes all this available to anybody who wants to play this game. Did you lose sanity? Yes. Do you currently have an underlying insanity? You kinda do. Alright.
Was it not technically over? Or am I still, like, experiencing it?
It's underlying.
Okay.
It's
okay.
a pre-existing condition
right.
now.
Right,
Eleanor is still here. She's just kind of in the shadows.
Yeah.
Right?
Gotcha. Okay.
All
Makes
right.
sense.
I need you to roll a d10, please.
One.
Okay. Good news is what's going to happen to you is not going to last long.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to have the involuntary action. Anytime you fail a sanity roll, you do something that's out of your control.
Mm-hmm.
With the kind of day that you're having, Hannah.
Yeah.
The thing to do, really. You're in a new city. You don't know anybody. You're always kind of on the run. You don't really know where is safe. The safest thing you can think of is Travis.
Mm-hmm.
He is steadfast. He's a rock. He's not going to be affected by any of this stuff. You just need to be near him right now. You just need to go to him. He talked you down in the car from the last time. Maybe he can do it again. Maybe he can tell you that, oh, this you're saying is not really real. It's whatever it is. You need Travis.
That tracks. Okay.
You kind of see him over there on the other side of that thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Go to him, child. Go to him.
Fine. That's what I'll do then.
Okay.
Ignore the Shoggoth right next to him.
Nah,
Yeah.
excuse me, pardon me.
I
just need to get
see
I
it.
need to be over him. I was just in here. I just left my coat.
I pretend I don't see it. I'm sorry. Don't mind me.
So you rush up, and Alvin was kind of pulling Travis along by the collar of his coat, and just complicating the matter. You run over, and you just kind of throw yourself onto Travis, and you kind of wrap your arms around his arm, and what kind of things would you say in a panic to someone who might bring you some sense of comfort?
What kind of things?
Just to put you on the spot.
Yeah,
you can just
I
say
love
I'm
that.
incoherently babbling, or I'm just sobbing and I can't quite get the words out. Whatever you want.
Yeah, I definitely feel like she would probably start crying at this point. So it would probably be hard to understand for most people that aren't Travis or Travis adjacent. Just stuff like, I just came here because I had an assignment and I don't even like this job, and I don't get paid enough for this. And it's been like 10 years, and then it was that stupid fucking hotel, and now whatever that thing is, and just pointing at like the mass of whatever it is. and then like kind of swatting at Alvin, like, can you be a little more gentle? I'm trying to have a moment here.
Excellent. Alvin is next. Alvin did not handle seeing the Shoggoth as well as Brad. Brad, could you roll a d20 for me, please?
Oh, God.
Uh-oh. Brad. Uh-uh. Don't make that face.
That would be a
great
natural.
face.
So these dice definitely need to be playing 5e.
This is not good.
Or Barlow. I'm
This
glad
is
I
not
took his
good.
gun away.
You gave it back, didn't you?
No, I didn't give it. No,
Travis gave him the gun.
Travis gave him a gun.
Travis gave him a gun.
I still have Barlow's 45 packed away. I haven't taken it out so he doesn't know that I took it.
Katie, would you roll me a d10 for this?
Uh-huh. 4.
4. Brian, roll me a d100.
I don't like all these numbers.
I
That's
like
the
the
looks.
20 a lot.
I am kind of curious. We've got a 30.
Oh, wrong book. And Katie, roll me a d10.
Uh, 7.
Okay, roll the 30 again, man. That doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
He's not going to be obsessed with clowns. I'm sorry. That has nothing to do with the current situation.
Okay, that's going to be an 89.
An 89. Okay, now we're talking. Okay. And then, what was the number you said, Katie? 7?
7? 7.
7.
7, yeah.
Okay.
That's not reassuring.
No. Mm-mm.
Hannah, you ask Alvin to back off.
Mm-hmm.
He vanishes. And reappears at the door. Now that you think about it, you saw him move. You've just never seen any creature move that fast before. And standing there in the doorway, he lifts Travis's gun at Brad and says, "Thank you, boy. I'll be taking it from here." And he pulls the trigger twice.
Motherfucker.
Oh boy.
Oh, no.
He got insane speed as his insane talent. So
Oh, no.
this is going to be great fun.
Mike's gonna get back and be like, what the fuck did you guys do? What did you do?
All right. This is a point-blank shot with a handgun. We decided there's not much you can do about that.
Yeah, it's pretty ugly.
I thought you could still dive out of the way. Wasn't that like a decision that we talked about?
That. And the question is, do I see this coming?
I think for a multitude of circumstances, I'm just going to roll.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
But
Makes sense.
it is going to, neither is going to be an impaling strike. And it is going to cost me my first of 2 unluckies that was bought for me to turn the second shot into a hit.
Nice.
So, I really have done a bad job of damaging y'all. Let's see if I can repair that in any way.
It's okay if you don't.
Yeah, we won't complain.
That's fine.
Mike has prepared himself to join us, so I'm going to do a little damage, and we're going to go to our break a little early so that we can get Mike in.
Oh, very good. because we kind of need a comatose giant right now.
Man, okay. So we decided it should be on one of y'all sheets. It's a D10 plus 2?
For a pistol?
For a revolver, yeah. 45?
Oh, well, I have the Derringer. That's not.
That's
I don't have mine. I don't have mine listed. I think
I think
kept
it was on
asking you guys.
Travis's character
I
sheet.
think I still have this.
I
book
believe
marked. So
that sounds about right.
it was a D10 plus something.
Yeah, the Derringer's only a D6.
Yeah, I'm hurting him more than that. I'd better. This might be my one chance.
For the 45, wasn't it just a D10 plus the damage bonus?
That's what I'm thinking. That sounds about right.
No, it's no
Sure,
damage
push the
bonus to
DB.
firearms. There we go. Damage bonus is when you use your build to belabor
Ah,
someone.
got it.
Okay.
Here we go. Yep, D10, 45 revolver, D10 plus 2. So that means you are going to take 12 and 9 points of damage.
Oh my god.
Ouch.
Are you alive?
Bit of a missed. I'm alive, but not by much. 12 and 9, so we're looking at 21.
21.
Which is, I have
I
27
rolled-
total hit points.
I had to roll
That
17
leaves
on
me
2d10 to do that.
Ooh.
That leaves me with 6 hit points.
Now, you'll
remaining.
be delighted to know that in Pulp Cthulhu, you don't pass out by taking half your hit points and damage in a moment. You'll also be delighted to know that Pulp Cthulhu has things you can do with your luck to deal with incoming damage.
Oh, actually, thank you for reminding me. I also have the tough guy trait, which I'm going to spend 10 points of luck to shrug off 5 points of damage in a round.
Okay, there you go.
So we'll start with that.
Shall we spend your
And then-
ephemeral Elder Sign luck for that 10?
Oh, you know what? That's perfect. Yeah, that's what I'll
Boom,
use.
there it is. Thank you, chat.
Now, are there any? Now you mentioned other things I can do with luck.
Yes.
Can I stack that on top of this?
When you take damage, in the instant you take damage, you can spend 20 points of luck to gain 1d6 hit points. Just like that. You can also,
My
if
luck
you
is
were
running
to
out
die,
quick.
you could spend 30 points, at least 30 points of luck. So I wouldn't spend any luck that's going to take you under 30. Because you can just not die for all of your luck as long as you spend at least 30.
You know what? I will use my tough guy feat and leave it at that because I'm down to 38 luck. So if I do any more, then it's not going to be pleasant. So
Excellent.
that leaves me with 11 hit points rather than 6.
Delightful. I'm really excited to see what a Shoggoth can do to those 11 hit points when we come back from our break. Let's get
As
Mike
long as
in
I get a
here
chance,
and
as
see
long as
what
I get
we
a
can
chance to
do.
shoot Barlow before this happens, I'll be happy. All right.
He can't help it. He's probably insane. All right, guys. We're going to take a little bit. We're taking our break early. We're going to take a good 10 minutes so that I can adjust the overlay and get Mike in here.
Sounds
make sure
good.
everything is good. We'll be back here in about 10. See you guys soon.
See ya.
later. He was going to find out sooner or later. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Misty Mountain Streaming and Miskatonic Misadventure. Oh?
Hannah is now gone, and
Yes.
Rob
Yeah,
appears
so-
in two
seems to be
spots.
in there.
Turns out
No, that's
I
me.
could not change. That's you. I could not edit the overlay while we were on break. So if you'll pardon me, I will get this fixed up real quick.
Or raise your hand if you would rather see two Robs for the rest of the evening.
No
Wow.
one would rather that. I am confident.
Rude.
There.
Even if you
Did
raise
I
your
fix it
hand,
that
don't tell
quick?
me.
I fixed it that quick.
I think you did.
There we go. Yep, we're good.
No. Yes.
It's fixed for me.
Yeah, sorry. It took me. So I will take this opportunity to tell everybody, hey,
Yeah.
sorry I'm late. I've been helping my daughter with something, but also my internet went out since about 2 hours ago, and I'm running this entire thing off of the hotspot on my phone. So if I fuzz out, blame Verizon.
Those hotspots are pretty good. I've had to rely on them a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna eat a donut. Mike, since you missed introducing yourself at the top of the stream and your character, would you like to remind everybody?
Oh, sure. I'm Mike, sometimes Uncle Mike. I'm late for the first time ever. I'll point out, sorry, I had a perfect record until tonight.
It's
But
going
my
on your
daughter,
permanent
who
record.
is away at the University of Auburn, needed my attention, and she won over you guys. I play a character named Travis Cole, who was an NPC in our last campaign, but since my primary character there decided to take off and join the Crazy Mythos people, I picked up his bodyguard butler guy who is a federal agent who investigates these paranormal activities, and who, most interestingly to everyone, it seems, is 6'6", and that's it. Oh, and
Heavily
last you
involved
saw
in
him, I think he was diving into some sort of swirly portal, grabbing the most evil book of all time.
Look, the book's not evil. The book
Books don't
just-
kill people.
people kill people with books.
With this particular book, they kill
I'm sorry.
thousands and thousands of people.
That book is decidedly evil. It does have a personality, and it is evil.
I'm not completely convinced.
Well, it is.
Appreciate the nice welcome, everybody. Thank you.
We missed you, man. Well, Mike, just kind of hang out here. You are, I rolled, and unfortunately, I rolled your initiative, and which means you are going very slowly.
I think that's mathematically likely, so
Yeah.
I don't think you need to feel bad. And I'm
Uh,
also a whole half a show behind on cocktails, so I'll just sit quietly and catch up.
Okay. Good to have my my rules reference back on the stream, by the way.
I'm glad I'm needed for something. That's when you get old. That's all you want is somebody to need you for something.
We were stressed without you.
The woman
There's a lot
is
of book flapping.
Hey, maybe I'll
back
get a
into-
raise. Oh wait, I'm not being paid for this.
The woman whose name most of you don't know, strolls is probably the correct word. In a rather blasé fashion, around the undulating mass of the Shoggoth in the center of the room. Making her way to the bleeding form of Brad. And says, "It took me 2 years to convince Agent Cole. How long will you refuse when even your allies betray you?" And she holds out her hand towards you, palm up, towards the book. That's all she cares to do. As it passes to Brad's turn.
I, spitting a little bit of blood, say, fuck you, and start running for the door. And as I do, I pull out my 45, and I'm going to take I'm going to take as many running shots at Barlow as I possibly can.
All right, well, I believe we determined you can shoot 3 at a time from a Colt 45. And you earn a penalty die when shooting. Now, I will say, Barlow is interposing himself in the door. If you want to barge through him, you'll either have to drop him or use part of your action to barge him out of the way.
So I guess my question is...
You also get another penalty die if you are shooting while you are moving. Just putting that out there.
Okay. I guess the question is, if I move...
Thank you.
As I move closer...
Everybody's fun.
As I move closer to him, and I'm within, say, 5 feet, how hard is it going to be to hit him? If I'm shooting at that kind of point blank range.
You can, like, bat your arm out of the way with a step forward.
Okay.
So...
Within 10 feet.
Considering that he is moving at a speed which you have never seen a person move before right now, surprisingly difficult, but no more difficult than rolling with penalty dice. Still just aiming for a regular success is what I'm trying to say.
So the penalty die is for shooting more than once, period. Every shot I'm going to get it?
Yep.
How many shots can I take without moving and still make it to the door? Because I know that'll cut down on my movement.
If you want to...
I'm just trying to mitigate the disadvantages, so to speak.
If you want to try... This is... I'm not sure Cthulhu is meant for this kind of gritty play.
Yeah.
So what I will guess in the moment, unless Mike corrects me, is your movement is really meant to represent you, like, leaving a scene. Like, moving from one room to the next in Cthulhu. If you are staying in this room, I won't impose your disadvantage. You can't move very far in any particular direction anyhow, because most of the room is Shoggoth.
Yeah, all this stuff all these rooms have been so small anyway. I assume they're still in the same room I last saw them in. But typically you can move your decks in yards and still act. So it's a huge amount. They're not trying to limit movement, but you still have to have a shot. If you shoot, the spirit of the rules is that you don't then move. So if you're trying to get to the door, you would go to the door, then turn around and shoot.
So if I'm going to shoot and then move, basically I'm going to suffer the penalty dice on the shooting. Essentially, based on the spirit of the rules.
Point. Yeah.
Okay, I can live with that. Bam, bam, bam. If he's not down, I'm barreling into him and trying to knock him right out of my way.
All right, so that would be a combat maneuver, which you're spending all of your juice pulling triggers this turn.
Okay, can I pull 2 triggers and try to bowl him over?
I will say yes if you are content trying to bowl him over at the same penalties as you're shooting.
Sure, I can go with that.
All right, let's do that.
Okay.
You have been reimbursed your luck, by the way, just before the break.
Ooh,
you have an extra 10 to use.
Okay, so the first shot looks good before the penalty die. Let's see what the penalty die does for me. That one was actually better, which means I got to go with the first one. So, standard success on the first shot.
Okay.
The second shot, that also looks good on the first one with an even 50. Penalty die is another 5, so even 50 twice.
2 shots,
so,
nice.
Two standard successes, and then the combat maneuver, that would be my brawl, right?
That's right.
Yes.
Now, would we determine whether the shots dropped him before we would do this combat maneuver, or do we go ahead and roll it now?
You are kind of set for it.
Okay.
So I would like you to go ahead and roll the damage, but it's not affecting how difficult it was to shoot him. You did roll with the 2 penalty dice, did you not?
I thought you said because I only did 2 shots that I wouldn't take the 2 penalty shots.
You would, since you only took the 2 shots, you would be able to do a combat maneuver.
Oh, okay. Then I got a couple more dice coming. Let me make sure I'm not failing on those. That one's going to be a 4, so that one's still okay.
Still good.
And that one is going to be a 6, which would make my roll. The second one was a 60, but I'm going to spin my little star in the corner and bring that down to a 50 to turn it into a success.
There it is. I'm happy. All right. Excellent. All right. So make your combat maneuver. Remember both the penalty dice, and we'll see how you do. And I do want to go ahead and get those damage rolls from you. I don't think you're dropping Barlow in 1, because he's a pulp hero. But
Okay.
always a chance.
My combat maneuver, the first one is okay. The second one, I've got an 80% brawl, so I'm thinking as long as this doesn't go
Probably fine.
south. 77 was my worst roll, so I managed a standard success on it.
Now he is going to try and rebuff that. He can't dodge, because getting out of your way just makes you happy. He's trying to interpose himself. So he just needs to get a hard success with his roll. And if he succeeds, he is going to... and this is kind of how the combat maneuvers work, right? If you win a combat maneuver against a combat maneuver, you do a thing, right?
Right.
So if you try and tussle with him, he's going to prevent you from going through, and he's going to try and grab that book.
Oh, did you want me to roll my bullet damage before that?
Yes, please do.
Okay. That's going to be, what was the plus on the D10? Or is it just a straight D10?
+2.
That's going to be a 9.
Ooh.
And then the second shot, that one's going to be an 11. So 20 points of damage.
You're almost as good at shooting him as he is at shooting you.
Yeah.
Like
That
1
would-
point
that would
difference.
Tear me up, and I guarantee you, I'm the toughest person here.
I don't know. I got a lot of. What's your base hit points?
My base hit points are 34.
Oh yeah, you are. Mine's because I don't have the size. Mine ended up being 27.
I'm meaty.
I'm just making sure his talent
That's
doesn't
my
come
only
into play
talent.
here.
The only thing I'm good at is losing hit points.
Okay, excellent. He does get a 22 and gets for him a hard success. So as you shoot him twice, he takes it. And don't get me wrong, physically speaking, you have fucked him up. He is more than 2/3 dead right now. Doesn't care. Does not give a shit. You see
that
left
20
arm
sanity
start
loss
to
will do
hang
that.
off. Yeah, his mind is sending orders to his body that his body cannot appreciate right now, and he is not dealing with the consequences of his actions at the moment. As you slam into him, like the bulk of you, the full fighting force of Brad Xavier, he kind of lowers his head and takes your charge, squares up and lunges forward at just the right moment with a slightly lower center of gravity than you, stops you cold, and with his good arm that hasn't just been filled with lead, pushes down on the book just enough while you're focused on other things to put it out of your grasp, and snags it with that same hand before it leaves the air. You have absolutely wrecked him, but he is standing. You know what isn't standing? The thing without legs behind you.
I mean,
Done.
almost by definition.
Technically.
You know this thing's speed says rolling next to it.
Have you
God.
shown everybody a picture of a Shoggoth, or
I
at
have
least told them to go Google
not.
it?
You know what? That's what's on the internet is better. Can one of you type, Mike? You know how to spell Shoggoth. Can you put that in the chat for people to go Google?
Sure.
I actually have
Sassy, I appreciate that. Thank you.
a 5e Cthulhu book that had a really good picture of a Shoggoth.
unless you've.
I tried to explain it well.
I'm
Oh,
gonna take a
sorry,
few
I
plans
wasn't
for
here
that.
for that.
No, you're good.
The puns.
There's a lot out there. Let me find one I like. Oh, that's perfect. That is perfect.
All right.
Let's see.
It covers an area 5 yards square and is able to produce tentacles, claws, or any manner of appendages which will perform a crushing attack. Those unfortunate enough to be hit may also be engulfed.
Oh.
All right. So,
Well, as you can see behind me, my book collection is kind of a mess, so I'm not going to search for it at the moment.
no, that's fair.
But it's a really good shot.
I just gave him a link to my favorite picture that I could find.
So the good news is that it's only attacking one of you with the 2 attacks it gets on a round without even trying to stress itself. The bad news for Brian is that person is...
Is there any chance it goes... Oh, man, there was no chance it went after Barlow?
No, it saw you had a book.
Ah, bastard.
And from its
This
many-eyed
is not going to go well.
It hasn't seen things changing from that perspective. So it is going to attack you a couple of times. Here's the thing. You get to decide whether or not you try and dodge or whether you try and fight back.
I have a feeling this is going to do an ugly amount of damage. So I'm thinking dodge is going to be my best option.
Okay. Okay, that's possible.
I mean, mathematically, there are 100 numbers on
Technically.
dice.
And I have a really solid
could happen.
dodge. So.
Good.
Of course, Rob probably has like a plus 70 that he's been accumulating all day or something.
I don't know what you're talking about. All right, now, also, Mike, there's a rule about taking multiple attacks in a round.
I don't know.
I
that
have taken 2 gunshot wounds.
And
this
the
round.
one thing I can tell you is in the
It's
research
being
that led
overwhelmed.
to me creating my... That's if you have more than one person attacking you at the same time. That is not taking multiple
He did
hits
just
from
get
the same
shot.
source.
Twice.
Yeah, I will look, but I think it's about being... It's what we called back in the Champions days, being put upon. It is when people are in your personal space all around you. Because then you can't defend yourself, right? Because you're always flanked. You've always got somebody behind you.
Well, that is certainly what I'd love to evoke here. I have found outnumbered. Let's see.
Yeah, that's it.
Once you
That's
have
it.
either fought back or dodged in the present combat round, all subsequent melee attacks are made with a bonus die. Creatures and monsters that have more than one attack may also dodge or fight back that number of times.
Yeah. So if you get 6 attacks, people don't get an advantage on you after you've only fought back once. You can fight back 6 times before they get an advantage on you. So that's what that rule is.
So Brad,
And that bonus is for the attacker, not obviously
Yes.
the defender.
So incredibly quickly, and I mean incredibly, quite literally, 2 pseudopods lash out in Brad's direction. You have the opportunity to respond to one of them, and you are dodging. Yes?
Yes.
All right, here comes number 1. Roll your dodge, please.
That is going to be... You gotta be fucking kidding me. That's gonna be a 91, which is a miss, and I'm going to use...
So I'll tell you,
Ah, shit.
I have achieved a regular success. If you also achieve a regular success with a dodge, the attack misses.
What happens if I push it?
You
Can't
also
push
dodge.
combat rolls.
Yeah, you can't push
Oh, you
combat
can't
rolls.
push combat
If
rolls?
you get an
Okay,
even
good to
higher
know.
level of success, you still dodge.
I'm concerned because if I use my luck to stop this attack, then I won't have luck to survive if I get killed.
That is true, and you can do that right now. If you need to. You can just do that right now.
Well, no, I can make the dodge if I spend 11 luck. But that's going to bring me below 30 luck.
Yes. So if you don't dodge and I roll damage and you decide I need to spend that 30 luck right now, we'll never see that.
Let's give it all. You know what? I will take my chances with. Well, I don't get to dodge the second shot, right?
Yeah, you do. You can continue dodging. It's just they'll have a bonus die on you because you don't have multiple attacks.
Okay, I'm going to risk the damage on this particular attack and see what comes up.
Okay.
Yeah, if you had 16 pseudopods, then you could dodge 16 times, but you don't.
Good news is I rolled low.
Bad news is
24 points of damage.
God damn. Okay.
That's low?
If that's low, that means that I am spending my 30 to survive that attack.
All right.
Whoa.
So
Oh.
this is the fun. This is something I've genuinely would have been looking forward to as a player in a
This is
full
my
game that
favorite
has
thing
never
about this
happened.
game, yeah.
This is what's about to happen for the benefit of the chat, and for the benefit of Brian before it actually happens. Everyone is going to see Brad die. They are going to see him enter an inescapable, hopeless, certain death situation. And you get to show up later with the story of how you survived. Because you are so incredibly lucky. So, a Shoggoth. Everyone go back and Google it. A Shoggoth
It's a brutal thing.
Coming at Brad. Ryan, Eldritch Horror Lover, what does it look like as Brad is engulfed by the Shoggoth? What happens?
Two writhing pseudopods shoot out from this amorphous mass of shadow and slime that dominates the entire room. And as they enfold Brad, they expand like curtains of darkness and snatch around him. And the next thing you see is they withdraw at an almost imperceptible speed. And all that's left is one of Brad's shoes.
Perfect.
I love it.
Hope it's not
I don't
your
know if
favorite.
Brad loves it.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Well, Brad, congratulations on your surviving. Really looking forward to how you got out of that one. And for the record, carte blanche. Whatever you say were the circumstances, whatever happened in the intervening time or dimensions between you in this moment and when we see you again, I am so looking forward to hearing about it.
You trade
Assuming this won't be
every bit of
during
your
this
luck for
session, so
that.
it'll give me a little bit of time.
Yeah. It might be sooner than you think. We'll see.
Oh, okay. Let me grab a book and I can go from there.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. No, I don't metagame ever. All right.
Travis,
Oh, yes.
we are to you. I will tell you I will set the scene for you as it
Yeah, please do,
currently
because I really
exists.
don't know what's going on.
But you are seeing this, of course, you are coming to this moment from elsewhere.
Right.
And the circumstance you find yourself in is Brad's not around. God knows what happened to him. There's a Shoggoth at the doorway. Alvin Barlow, with 2 gaping bullet wounds in his chest and 1 limp arm, is holding the Necronomicon. Not 5 feet from him, well, no, not 10 feet from him, is the woman. And clinging to your arm on the floor as you are reclined is Hannah. And she has
Hey, Hannah.
tears welling up at the corners of her eyes, and she looks incredibly distressed. Understandably. And the rest of this room is just like you remember it. There's a wall where there used to be, a vortex of fire, but there is a tapestry of chalk beneath you, painting out some symbol that haunts your
I saw it
waking
before.
dreams.
Yeah, I saw it before. But is it like all erased and messy now? And what
It's kind
about
of messy now, yeah.
what's his name that was floating above said symbol before? Is
No
his
sign of
body
him.
here? Okay.
Off the board, he inverted into a Shoggoth at the behest
okay.
of
All right. Well, that's
things
that's
beyond
fine
your
for
kin.
Mike, but I did. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's good. I love it. The DM should know what the hell's going on, but you don't really have to tell me.
I just thought you might find it fun that a guy was inverted into a Shoggoth.
I think it's awesome for this. What happens when you sign up with this lady? What? So I mean, and to be 100% clear, you said Barlow is holding the Necronomicon.
Yep.
And to be 100% clear, I'm not holding the Necronomicon.
You are no longer holding the Necronomicon.
Okay. Because last time, a nanosecond ago, as far as I knew, I was. Right?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
I tried to wake you up before I snatched it.
So I don't know if this matters to you at this point, but I feel like I'm cheating if I don't mention it. My screw after just failing a sanity roll the last time I played was 7 rounds of amnesia.
Mhm.
So has that already kind of played its way out in my brain?
I'll make a deal with you. It has played its way out in your brain. But now you see a Shoggoth.
Oh, sure. And we can start all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you're...
Well, I mean, come on. I don't know if anybody...
Let's do this real quick. Let's interact with the recovery rules for sanity. Because unbeknownst to everyone in this room, you've had a little time to deal with the events of today.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Well, so, yeah, I mean, number one, I had an indefinite insanity.
Mm-hmm.
You remember my mania, which nobody except me and you know anything about.
I think I'm going to keep that just because you haven't had the chance to roleplay it.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Well, then the only other thing would be to determine whether or not I had the opportunity to regain any sanity while I was participating in this event that I won't share until you tell me to.
Yeah, let's say that you had a chance here. You had some psychoanalysis and some self-help, such as it was. So let's do...
So you just give me some number of D4s or something like that back. Or you could just give a flat number, I suppose.
Just roll your sanity right now.
Okay. Had dice. Here we go. I rolled under my sanity.
Okay. Roll 2d10 and gain that much sanity.
Okay.
That's really only 2 sessions of self-help, but you're not anywhere near your key backstory connections and whatnot.
On what would have been an average of an 11 on 2d10, I rolled a total of 5. So I clearly didn't want much sanity back.
That's a shame.
Yep. That's all right, though.
Now I need you to make a sanity check because you saw a Shoggoth.
All right.
With your new sanity total, please.
I failed the shit out of that.
Really?
Failed that like a boss.
I'm gonna feel
Welcome to my life.
I feel like such a dick. Seeing a Shoggoth and failing a sanity roll we've already established earlier in this session is a D20 sanity loss.
All right, I can do that. I can roll. Apparently, I can only roll low. Oh! Do I have to tell the truth?
I suppose technically not, but I love it.
I rolled an 18.
Oh!
That was a little,
sanity, boys and girls.
that was a little better. That was a little better than what happened to Barlow when he saw it.
All right.
I got an easy with a 7.
Been nice knowing everybody.
Wow.
Well... Shit. Mike, you threw me a curveball in the last one, and here we go, motherfucking again.
So I explained this to one of my DM friends the other day. Don't ask for a roll if you don't want the worst or best possible outcome. So that's what you're gonna get.
Here's what we're gonna do. This is gonna justify you still having to deal with that mania. You maybe dealt with it, and here it is back again.
Okay.
You're gonna take that sanity.
Yeah.
And technically speaking, Hannah has not recovered from her involuntary action. We haven't gone a full round. She is still insane in the room with now only one surviving not insane person.
Mm.
I think this is an opportunity I can't pass up. So, Travis, really looking forward to hearing you explain what all you've been up to since we last
Sure.
talked to you.
Doesn't seem like the time for it, but go ahead.
We'll make some time. Because as soon as you return to the circumstances, the traumatic circumstances that you formerly remembered in the company of your friends, and you see the situation very unlike what you expected, something snaps. Something breaks. The next thing you know, you are not in this room with the terrifying, amorphous black monster made of slime and smoke. You are not being clung to by your companion, currently known as Anna Cooper. You are not in possession of the Necronomicon. Instead, you are sitting on a bench. You're outdoors. There's a nice green lawn about you with well-manicured hedges and a little topiary in the shape of a woman holding this vase above her head, meticulously sculpted. You are not dressed as you remember being dressed. You feel the grass beneath your toes as you barefoot. Your cheap suit has been replaced by a white gown with a little bit of a V at the neck. It's rather loose on you, like it was not made for you, very much off the rack. Next to you, to your left, is an empty wheelchair. Behind you is a man in a crisp, white, pressed outfit, all the way down to his shoes. Seems just be attending you in some fashion. High buildings and equally high walls surround this lawn, and you realize that everyone around you is either dressed in a gown like you are, or all in white like the gentleman beside you.
Right?
You don't see a Shoggoth. You don't see Hannah. You sure as hell don't see Brad. But you have the feeling that you might have been here before. And certainly you've been to many places quite like this to inquire as to the mindset and histories of inmates at asylums such as this one. The man behind you, whose name, for some reason, you believe is William, says, "Sure is a nice day out, Mr. Cole."
That it is, William. That it is.
You fancy a smoke?
Certainly. Have you seen a book, an old tome? I had it here just a moment ago.
Mr. Cole, I think you've read every book in the building by now, long as you've been here. But we didn't bring any book with us today, just the paper.
You're sure not an old book with a leather-bound cover?
I'm quite certain, Mr. Cole.
Would have sworn I had it. Probably back in my room.
Whatever you say, Mr. Cole. And he smiles at you in a somewhat charming but certainly patronizing way.
I'm used to that. I reach up and take the cigarette from him. I realize he's just not smart enough to know what's really going on.
It's not your brand, unfortunately. Not a bad one, though. Oh, I ought to let you know. Your lady friend has been making incredible progress. I think the doc told me that you could visit her finally.
That sounds great. Let's go see her.
It's he looks at a watch on his wrist. Getting to be about lunchtime. Maybe why don't we meet her there? I'll arrange to have her take lunch with you.
Sounds perfect.
Would you like
Rob,
to take
I'm
the
sorry.
chair, Mr. Cole?
I need 60 seconds. I'll be right
Oh,
back.
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
The concerns of a family man. Just to share with the stream, by the way, while we have a spare moment, Brian came onto camera before the stream started so that I could set everything up. And there was a young man with Brian who stated rather matter-of-factly that I had died.
Yes.
And I was wounded by that. I wasn't here to defend myself at the time, but I could hear it. Sure as shooting.
To give some context, my son came over and I turned on OPS and went, "Oh, Rob's not here." And he just, as quick as you can imagine, said, "Oh, Rob died."
Look, I know my beard is graying, but come on. I'm not that bad off.
Might be slightly premature.
I had a comment there, but I will decline to voice it. I will allow you to use your imagination, since this is a theater of the mind game,
Ew.
as to what the joke might have been in that circumstance. Well, Hannah.
Yes.
The walls sure are soft in this room. They've been soft ever since you got here. And you know, the doctor is a pretty friendly guy. He's really open to anything that you feel like sharing. I don't know what you feel like sharing. And frankly, neither do you. You don't remember coming here. You're not quite sure how you got here. You don't quite remember what you've said and what you've done while you were here. But you remember here a lot better than you remember a lot of places you've been in your life, considering how migratory you have been in your adult life. But when the door opens and the man in the coat comes in with his shiny brown shoes, his pencil-thin mustache, his rugged jawline, and his little bit below average height, and flashes you a pearly smile, you feel glad to see him. If only because you know you kinda need his permission to leave. You believe his name is Hilliard. Now you know why you remember that, or why you think that. It's printed on his coat. Miss, Cooper, how are you doing today?
Dr. Hilliard. Fine. I'm the same as I was.
That's good, eh? Well,
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if we could have a bit of a conversation as we walked. Are you hungry? There's someone who would like to see you.
Sure.
He escorts you into the hall, and waiting outside the door is an orderly. Everywhere you go, you have this fella. Can't think of what his name was. Big fella. Apparently, they needed someone rather large to account for you, as you have been traveling about. You get the sense you may not have been on your best behavior the entire time you were here.
Mm-hmm.
As you walk, Hilliard says, I was wondering if we could return to the topic of Eleanor. Now, when the good people of the constabulary brought you to me, they said that you were the one that called, and that you would introduce yourself to the operator, to the gentleman at the station as Eleanor. And yet everything on your person says your name is Hannah, and I just want to know, who is Eleanor? Who is she to you? Your mother, perhaps?
Well, you know,
I don't. I'd very much like you to tell me.
she's, just a friend from the past. An old acquaintance.
A favorable one.
Yes. Now, we didn't always get along, but generally ended up agreeing.
Do you admire her?
In some ways.
You wish to be more like her?
I feel as if I've grown past her, in fact.
That is the way of growing up and growing older, isn't it? I'd like to think you've grown since you've been in Arkham Asylum. I'm very excited to see the developed version of Hannah Cooper. And so is someone else. And he opens the door to the cafeteria, and there are tables upon tables of identically dressed, very different individuals. And among them, you recognize some faces. You've seen them here or there. And there's one more memorable than the others that you haven't seen. And seated at one of the tables, with William standing behind him, is Travis Cole.
I'm just gonna wave.
I stand a little crooked because of my bad leg, and the fact that it takes a little minute to get 6'6" off the ground. But I stand up and look in her direction and gesture and point towards the chair across from me.
I'll take a few steps in that direction. Not before I'm gonna give kind of a intimidating look at the guy. You know, the big guy that has to be there.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to make sure he knows that I can still fuck him up if I need to.
He seems used to that look.
Yeah, sure he is. Then I'll walk over, head in that direction towards that chair.
All right. Moments later, trays of incredibly acceptable food is placed in front of the two of you. Your orderlies have a bit of a conversation slightly aside, and you have a little time to yourselves as you are watched. But for all intents and purposes, alone.
So as far as I know Hannah and I have not spoken since we entered the boathouse.
That's...
Is that am I picking up on that correctly?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry to I don't need to belabor your scene. I can fake it with the best of them, but was I aware she was here?
You were.
Okay.
You were not permitted to see her. Not in her state.
Travis would have, because Mike knows, and certainly Travis knows how this time and maybe all time in human history works. He would have thrown money at her care. Right? Like, make sure she's got the right room. Make sure she doesn't have the shitty orderlies. If somebody's taking it, I'm going to grease the nurses. Whatever it takes. If I have access to my money, I use it.
Grease the nurses.
That's my favorite porno of all time. Grease the nurses.
See, I thought it was only okay. It was a little bit meh. I don't know.
Right now I'm blushing.
It's a little bit cheesy. Not as cheesy as Cheese the Nurses, but...
Of course not. All right. So
yes,
I grease the nurses whenever possible.
You have greased the nurses, and you have had some limited contact with the outside world in ways to try and facilitate your expeditious extrication from this circumstance.
Yeah, I mean, again, for anybody who's interested in how Travis works, so part of going insane, which I could have mitigated a little bit, I realized retrospectively with some luck, but I think it's more fun that I didn't. Part of going insane is that the keeper gets to tell you what you think and what you do for some period of time. So I don't, that probably happened at some point, but whenever Travis starts to even have moments of lucidity, his nature is to say and do what he thinks they want him to say and do, using his psychoanalysis skill right back at him to get his ass out of here. So his intention is to keep leaning into that. I say Hannah. I say L. Hannah. How's the hospital treating you?
Well, it is immensely boring. There's not much to do other than talk. And they really like when you talk. Sometimes they really like it, sometimes they really don't. Depends on what you say. I'm a bit embarrassed to admit that I'm not sure either how long I have been here or what I have said. And I'm particularly itching to not be here any longer.
I say a little louder than she was speaking, actually quite a bit louder than she was speaking. I say, well, isn't it good that we're here though, since we've been sick? I'm so glad to hear that you're getting better, as am I. I'm sure that if we continue to undergo these treatments, we'll be out of here in no time.
I'll respond in an equally slightly highered voice. Yes, I am just so ashamed of my behavior, and I'm really glad that I've been able to,
see the error of your ways.
Mediate it. Yes, I did need this help, and I've been given the assistance I needed, and it's so refreshing. And I mean, just look at that doctor. He's so dashing.
Intelligent.
Little mustache. Yes, or intelligent. Either. Both.
I like being called intelligent.
Right. He's so smart.
I said, well, I'm sure we'll be out of here in no time, assuming there are no setbacks. And I look her in the eye on setbacks.
I'm gonna avert my gaze.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree.
If there was an innuendo skill, I would be like, don't stab anybody for like a month, please.
I will begrudgingly agree. Maybe.
How are you two doing this afternoon? I come walking up, look to either side.
Did we know Brad was here?
Tuck my doctor's coat in.
None whatsoever. Raymond Hilliard, the doctor that is over your care, walks up in the company of another similarly dressed doctor who looks rather familiar. What name did you give, Brad?
My name is Dr. Vargas. You've met, both of you.
Forgive my...
Don't you remember?
Forgive my manners, Miss Cooper, Mr. Cole. This is Dr. Vargas. He is visiting from a different asylum, and I thought it would be best to have him meet some of my more interesting cases.
Your case is truly fascinating.
Dickhead.
Please continue. Don't mind me. I'll sit here and observe.
Doctor, do you need my assistance? It seems that there's...
Oh, absolutely not. You can go.
Thank you very much. Perhaps we can meet for dinner and discuss...
Fair enough.
I will see you when the workday is done. My apologies for abandoning you so soon. And
thank you.
Bowing quickly away, Dr. Hilliard retreats.
The orderlies are still here, though. I assume William is still behind me.
William and the big guy are over there. Looks like they're having a rather heated conversation about something that they have in the paper that William brought with him.
Can I pick up on anything that they're talking about with lip reading?
You can make a roll.
Okay.
I think you may be more interested in what's going on here.
Yeah, I mean, if it looks like they're getting heated, though, I'm a bit curious.
Okay.
I imagine that Ellie/Hannah's attention span is probably focused in. Well, I did get a success, but it was just a regular. It was right on the money, in fact.
Okay. Judging by the lip reading, it seems they're discussing the events in the paper that have to do, with an uncommonly large grant that has been made, a donation towards the archaeological efforts of Miskatonic University. Specifically, with regard, if you'll pardon my looking up a thing real quick. You made a regular success?
Yes.
A Mr. Palmer has made a outstanding donation to fund Mr. Barlow's next expedition to the Fertile Crescent in the Middle East.
Interesting. I'm definitely gonna perk up, kind of thinking I see them talking about Barlow.
Whatever it is,
right,
they are as they are talking, they're continually indicating this paper that they are kind of flashing back and forth.
Okay.
And
I kind of mumble to myself, like, it's a shame that bastard lived.
Now, Mr. Vargas, you were saying.
When
I snap my fingers in front of Hannah's face a couple of times, and I say, Dr. Vargas, I look forward to whatever
I ignore Travis, and I focus on Hannah. It is a shame.
Nice to.
Do you know what time is?
What?
Do you?
What? What?
Do you know what time is?
What time it is?
What time is, not what time it is.
What time
What
is
time
it?
is?
On the wall behind me. I'm like, it's
It's like right after noon. I
Eyes get kind of glossy. Do you know what happens when you see it for what it is?
well, you know what time it is.
You do know. You've
Oh,
looked through You've looked through our little glasses. Don't be coy. You've seen it. When you see it like that, it loses consistency. You know. You've seen it. That's why Eleanor came around. You couldn't handle it. You couldn't face it. It warps, it twists. And then I kind of lower my eyes. I saw those bullets coming at me. They moved an inch at a time. And that cloudy thing that I can still see it when I was inside of it. It just, so much hunger. And then I turned around and that woman, she was smiling at me. She was just sitting there with this grin. And that rune on the floor. Do you remember the rune on the floor? Do you remember it? Do you remember it? The sigil. The sign. You all read it. I can still see it. It's like a burned little pattern in my eyes. I saw so far. And I could crawl both ways, up and down. And you think I'm a moron. But I'm alive. And I'm here. And I'm not trapped. And then I stand up sharply. So, have you been taking your meds?
It was only to you, not me. I
Well,
say, oh, most certainly, doctor.
they certainly give them to me.
Have you?
Wonderful. And I just kind of glanced at Travis. Now, why on earth would I need meds? I'm
Why on
not
earth,
crazy.
Indeed. My attempt at humor, doctor.
Well, anyway, hopefully your treatment goes well, and I will be seeing you shortly. And I turn to Hannah and wink, and then walk off.
Hey, did I get a Mythos point when I went over the edge from seeing a Shoggoth like I should have?
Of course you did.
Thank you very much. Need all I can get. If my sanity's going to be this low, I might as well have some Mythos.
Yeah, I didn't get another one, did I?
So, no.
Okay.
You didn't really go insane like old Travis did. Let's do this, though. All of you, even if it was only to convincingly portray yourself as Dr. Vargas, underwent a little bit of psychiatric care over the intervening time, which was not as long as you fear and longer than you would hope. Let us... Everyone gets to roll. It's psychoanalysis. Everybody gets to roll.
So So long term, you'd get a D3 monthly.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody's helping you out, you can get a D3 in the moment. And then over time, I've got my notes here. I mean, the truth is, your sanity really never goes up much.
Mm-hmm.
But you can shake these indefinite insanities. If you want us to hang on to the indefinite insanities, then you might want to give us some sanity back.
Yeah, we're gonna give you we're gonna let you recover some sanity at the very least. What let's do.
The truth is, guys, just so you know, unlike the regular Cthulhu game where you just basically go insane and there's nothing you can do about it, with this game, you're really supposed to use your luck to mitigate your sanity loss because there's still not a good way to get sanity back in big chunks. Like when you're losing 18 at a time, you might get 18 back in your whole career.
What let's do.
Valid.
We're gonna roll 2d6, all of you. And we're going to half the number you get.
Oh.
Mike
Fuck.
is dissatisfied. How'd it go?
Fortunately, I rolled really low, but I get to half it.
Okay.
So
Can't
6
believe
divided
this.
by 2 is 3 for me.
Okay. You will get 3 sanity back, Travis. How'd it go
I'll
for
take
Hannah?
I rolled 2 1s.
Awesome.
So
1? You well,
I was literally not taking my meds.
technically speaking, what you're doing is rolling 2d3. So you get 2, not 1. I know it's twice as good, technically speaking, but I know it doesn't feel great. How'd you do, Brad?
I rolled 8, so 4.
Okay. Now here's the thing. Completely on the board here. Raymond Hilliard is someone I thought we would have met before now in the campaign. We're really soaking ourselves in the moments as they come up. He is a great resource to you if you actually need quality psychiatric care for the time. So since he was responsible for 2 of you during this time, he is going to aid your sanity recovery in some measure. Wow, and he's good at it. So, on a D3, you will each recover 3 more points of sanity.
Okay, I'll take that. That's, I mean, as a percentage of where I was at, the last 5 minutes have been very good for Travis.
Oh yeah, we're back in the 40s.
Exactly. I just crossed the 40 barrier.
Wow. Y'all might never not be sane to visit him again, but for what it's worth, Brad, this guy knows his stuff.
Well, and again, I mean, there haven't been great opportunities for it, but Travis actually put a lot of points into psychoanalysis.
Yeah.
So basically, every time somebody has a unique sanity loss experience, if they're willing to sit down and hold hands with him and talk about it, talk through it, you might get a D3 back.
When Rob's not constantly throwing bullshit at you, is what he means.
No, I just mean it's just you can narratively make breaks even if it never stops, you know.
All right. With that, as Dr. Vargas rises, the orderlies seem to conclude whatever conversation they're having. And another orderly approaches them and has a quick conversation. The 2 of them make their way over to the 2 of you. Say, Mr. Cole, Miss Cooper, if you've quite finished your meal, and they look at your trays, which have been completely untouched, say, there's someone else who would like to see you. Both of you, actually.
We're popular. Hell, Hannah.
If you want to follow us, we'll take you to the visiting room.
Sounds good. I bump William as I go past him and I say, "Can I have another one of those delicious cigarettes?"
Sure, of course you may. He takes a cigarette out and Gives it to you, offers you a light.
I'm going to snatch a cigarette as well. I'm not asking though.
By all means.
Travis's only sort of bougie indulgences with all that money he has are his liquor and his cigarettes.
You are both taken to a room with a table in the center, couches on the extremities of the room, a token plant, just to have a little green in the room and not have it look so drab and boring. And seated in a wooden chair at the table is Armitage.
Nice.
He rises as you both enter the room, gentleman as he is, says, I am so terribly sorry. I've been looking in all the wrong places for you, I'm afraid. Travis's message has only just reached me. He crosses the room towards you and clasps both of your hands. You quite all right? And he's searching in your eyes for
If he looks in
things
my
that don't
eyes,
have to do with anything you're about to say. He's investigating you on his own.
I mean, I've been looking for the opportunity to mention this, but if he thinks he remembers what my eyes look like, they don't look like that anymore.
You see his
What?
head visibly retreat.
What? Huh?
My eyes used to be blue, and now they're kind of amber.
Uh-oh. Okay. Noted.
Are you both all right?
Noted. I'm very happy to see you, Professor. Very happy.
I mean,
I'm
frankly,
shaking
the
his
food here
hand aggressively.
just abysmal.
Frankly, I've been trying.
Sassy is getting tired of me not explaining what happened to me. This is like the third prompt.
I've been trying desperately to reach you. I'm on good terms with Dr. Hilliard, but he's quite a stubborn man when it comes to his practice. It was only on the recommendation of a Dr. Vargas. I'm not entirely sure we're acquainted that I was able to gain access to you in the first place.
Yes, you're acquainted with Dr. Vargas. You guys have a professional history.
Is that so?
You'll recognize him when you see him. But Dr. Hilliard is an excellent physician, and we've been fortunate to be in his care during this time.
Excellent. I've very much to tell you. Frankly, I have very many questions as well.
Say, I have got more than one question myself, but I've learned, and I take a really deep breath. I've learned that there aren't a lot of answers.
Well, we will have time to talk about all of this very soon. I have come to recover you from this place.
Wonderful.
You are to be released into the care of this Dr. Vargas. Again, I'm not entirely confident, but anywhere is better than here when things are at stake. And believe me, things are very much at stake. Mr. Cole, they gave me this to give you. Don't know when you had the opportunity to acquire a new one, much less a new one this old. And he presents you with a rather historic new cane that you have acquired for yourself in the instance that we weren't with you. Would you like to just describe your Victorian cane?
Yeah, so is this one that I found while I was gone?
Yes. Let's say yes.
Okay.
And this will also help us justify how unique it is as canes go.
Yeah, so unlike my last one, which was sort of regal and like had a sort of a feather and bird motif to it. This one is much less easy to ignore. It's got these sort of serpentine patterns all down through the wood with all these sort of different metal inlays that cause sort of rainbows to appear at different angles. It's got a tip on it of some silvery metal, and the head is a sort of again a serpentine neck, like a cobra's neck, but where its face ought to be is an eye.
Quite the affectation, the statement you will make with this on King Street.
I described this to the manufacturer almost on a whim, not thinking he could produce it, but apparently he could.
You must quite have friends in some strange places to acquire something from a medical surplus store on this specification.
I say not. I'm sorry, I misspoke. Not the manufacturer, the antiquarian. I asked to look for this item. London.
Your things, such as they were, are made available to you. And so if you will take a moment to get rest, we will extricate ourselves. We have a
Absolutely.
dinner appointment with Mr. Vargas. I'm very anxious to meet him.
I seem completely unshy about. They've provided a little thing to get dressed behind, and I'm not using it.
Your clothes as they were when you were picked up by the constabulary the night that the constabulary were called are put before you. Hannah, you're still missing a shirt.
It's just her look now to go.
At this point,
we can change it next session, but
you've yet to call that you get a shirt, so you don't have one.
No one will give me one.
I haven't been back to my room. I have so many shirts. I packed nothing but shirts. One skirt, all shirts. Haven't been there.
I have at least one. Yeah. So I look at Armitage. I'm like, I'm also leaving. You're taking me.
Yes.
Right.
Both of you.
Okay. Amazing.
I'm not sure who Dr. Vargas is, but he seems to carry some significant weight with Dr. Hilliard.
I'm sorry, have you met him?
Not personally, no. I'm looking forward to doing so this evening.
I'm telling you, you've met him. You just don't remember.
I do not remember.
It's fine.
He was a student at Miskatonic.
Was he now? That explains his credentials and probably why Hilliard remembers him so favorably.
We should probably discuss this somewhere else.
Is anything missing from my possessions? I mean, I assume there's no weapons there. I assume a fucking baseball bat isn't there.
Not there. No idea.
That's so. Just everybody who is hearing me talk knows what happened to the bat, except me. Remember, I took my headphones off. I mean, is my wallet there, or my car keys there, or I don't know. I don't have any sense of time. I look around as I'm putting stuff in my pocket, and I look at the professor, and I go, I think I had a book. It's not important. I'm sure it'll turn up.
Well, to hear Alvin tell it, you most certainly did have a book. But we'll have to talk about that later.
My eyes get wide and more golden when he says that.
That was some time ago now. And why we
How long?
I'm sorry, how long?
Nearly 2 months.
Oh, I thought you were about to say 2 years. Okay.
I was in London for 2 years.
I hear it's nice. Little dreary.
It was extremely dreary.
When did you find time to be in London as a federal? Never mind. We'll have time to talk about this in a moment.
All right. So I'm ready. I jingle my keys.
Okay. Just for a little bit of flavor on Hannah's character here, because I like describing this kind of stuff. So when she's getting changed in a similar fashion, and I think this would be one of the only times it would ever be visible you would be able to see a very, very long and frankly gruesome scar. Probably coming up from like her pinky, like on her like her right arm, all the way up to like the shoulder, coming up the back of her neck and down her back as well. Without access to constant like cosmetics, this is no longer as hidden as it would be. So whether or not anyone cares about that, I just wanted to describe it. Yeah, she'll get changed and kind of ready to go, and I'm probably gonna take some of the clothing from the mental hospital.
Yeah. Armitage is, trying to be a gentleman and not look at you while you're changing and whatnot, but any of that he sees, he is too polite to comment upon, although the flex of the neck when he notices is kind of hard to disguise.
Yeah, it'll be visible up like the back of her neck and slightly up the side of her face without makeup applied.
Travis
which I assume
flinch
they
at
did
it.
not give me here.
Travis gives her no privacy and also doesn't react to her terrible scar.
Three hours later, you have gathered your possessions. You have made a drive back into the city. Not a very far commute. You have spoken with the local police force and extricated the situation of Travis's vehicle. Lots of negotiating that had to happen there until you came to the fact of Travis's credentials, which seemed to open the necessary doors.
What about my car?
I immediately searched the car for the bat, and
No
I
bat.
accused the people who impounded my car of stealing.
I'm very confused. They insist that leaving everything else should absolve them of any responsibility for the bat, considering some of the things
There's a
you had in that
lockbox full of
trunk.
cash. There's a lockbox full of cash in the trunk. So I don't even check it. I'm just looking for the bat.
No bat.
All right.
I don't know what happened to it. I never saw.
You do notice, Travis, that long metal box that you keep in the trunk with the padlock on it,
Mhm.
padlock has been tampered with.
Cut off. Okay.
But not cut off.
Is it current? Is it currently locked?
It is currently locked.
All right. Well, I'll take my key out and unlock it and look to see if what is on my card is inside of it.
Everything is just as you remember. Apparently, they weren't bold enough to leave evidence behind of replacing or damaging your lock, but they tried to pick at it.
Yeah, no, sure. I get it. And they weren't as talented as El Hannah.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I'll lock it back and jingle my keys and go to no one in particular. It pays to buy the good locks.
Sometime later.
10 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Right before I close the trunk, I reach in and grab a comic book and just start flipping through it.
Excellent. There is a small Italian restaurant, hole in the wall, downtown Arkham, Giovanni's.
Of course it is.
Red and white checkered tablecloths, little candles on the tables.
Is there any town in the U.S. that does not have an Italian restaurant named Giovanni?
I don't believe
There's
so.
not.
There's no evidence to support
Because I
that.
know there's one about a mile from my house. I'm just curious.
Sorry, writing down Giovanni's.
We do like a good
Good idea.
callback on this show.
Brad, you can tell me if you are Dr. Vargas or Brad Xavier right now, but your pal Dino from back in your school days, who ascended to the glorious heights of head waiter at Giovanni's after his graduation,
Big shot.
brings you out a bottle of wine Are you dressed
Is it Chianti in one of those little wicker
I am-
baskets? I hope.
I am dressed much more formally than I normally would have.
Okay.
And I'm still putting on the airs of a doctor. If he recognizes me, that's fine. But I'm still.
What is this? What are you doing here? What is this? This whole look you got going for yourself, man?
Excuse me.
You don't recognize me? It's your pal, Dino. We grew up together. We went to school together. We were bosom buddies.
I'm sure if I knew you, my good man, that I would recognize you.
Oof. Oh,
I thought you were going to start talking to him about the elasticity of time.
Ooh, some people grow up and they think they're too good for you all of a sudden. Just would the Monsignor like me to get a better vintage from out back? Is he too good for the wine now?
I'm fairly sure you've mistaken me for someone else.
Yeah, I mistook you for a polite friend. My apologies. And he slams the bottle down on the table and retreats. But hey,
I shrug.
Bottle of wine.
Pour myself a glass of wine and pour wine into 2 more glasses that I have set up at the table and await my my guests.
You've selected a table.
Is Armitage also here?
He's driving with you, yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I was assuming they hadn't actually gotten to the table yet.
No,
I didn't know.
They haven't yet. They're pulling up now. You actually recognize the car.
Got it.
Because it is so incredibly nondescript. It is recognizable.
Are we in Travis's car or Armitage's car?
Armitage is joining you for this tete-a-tete. And I'm assuming Travis at least is driving his car. You're welcome to ride in whichever makes you the most comfortable, but he's leading you to Giovanni's, a place that neither of you have been.
Okay. I would probably ride with Travis.
Yeah, there's more guns in that car. Why wouldn't you?
Right.
And comic books.
And comic, yeah.
And comic books.
Travis driving along with the comic pressed against the steering wheel and just kind of reading it.
I laugh every so often. I'm like, yeah, I'd forgotten about this one.
They wouldn't let me have books in the asylum because I kept giving the orderlies paper cuts.
That the only way they could keep me calm was to give me books. I've got a real interest in reading that I never really had before.
I mean, the comic books were already here.
Yeah, but that's the great thing about comic books. You just read them over and over.
Right. Yeah, you got a thing with books now. I see. I was gonna skip right over that. I'm just not gonna address it. I'm just gonna let Travis have that, you know?
You pull up, you park, and Armitage is holding the door open for you to this little hole-in-the-wall Italian joint. Inside, you see a very well-dressed Brad.
And I stand up and I wave.
I wave back. There's a question mark in my wave.
I am looking at him with just obvious suspicion. I'm not gonna say anything, but just literally staring him down like, bro. But I'll go over there.
I assume we passed some unoccupied tables on the way to his table.
Yes.
I stop to adjust my socks and grab a knife off. Just if it's a butter knife, that's fine. And just grab it off one of the tables. And then I catch up to Hannah and put it in her hand.
You know me so well.
I do. I feel better if you have a knife and not my baseball bat.
I was going to say.
But I don't say that part out loud.
It's been months, Travis.
Yeah,
One time I'll lose your baseball bat.
Who knew gravity was, that's not here nor there. Nope.
That's all right. Once we're done with all of this, we're going to go look for my bat, and you're going to remind me of exactly where the fuck you put it. I'm sure it's still there.
Listen, Travis, just because you're 6
Enjoy your butter knife. Let's go talk to Dr. Brad.
My street score is higher than yours, okay?
But fortunately, I'm slower than you.
With all of that, you can't hang on to one bat.
Listen. Gravity. Anyways, okay. I'm gonna put this knife like in my waistband. That is also a question though. So like my stuff that was confiscated would have included several like hidden knives and a gun. Did we get those things back from the asylum?
I just assumed we didn't.
Nah.
Okay. It was
I
just
can
a large
re-outfit you.
number.
Fortunately, there's a rather clever contraption in this old cane that does not indicate that it is a weapon in any way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Police didn't care that you had guns. Perfectly legal to have guns. Just not for insane people.
Yeah.
Frowned on.
Right. I just wasn't sure if they like held on to them. at the
This is a
asylum
bunch
or
of
not.
crazy.
Oh, I'm sure they've gone home with somebody by now, but I'll buy you more stuff. Don't worry about that.
Fair.
I just don't know if we're gonna have to kill Dr. Brad because he seems to have a loose relationship with time. So I want you to be armed.
He
He
also,
doesn't know how to read a clock.
as far as Hannah remembers, he is very much dead.
Yeah.
Sanity
Well.
check. You're back down to 30.
No. I just got back to
that's
40.
Is one of these specific things on the sanity chart is seeing someone that you know for a fact to be dead.
Oh, dang.
I have,
really need
I
to
have,
make sanity.
I don't know. I feel like
Sucks
if I wipe out
of us so far.
if I wipe out all of Brad's luck to do this, I feel like I don't have to take sanity from Hannah.
Yeah, no, I think that's fine. He's got a perfectly plausible.
Well, and I do feel
explanation.
like based
Okay.
on the various traumas she's already experienced, just seeing me can't be that big of a deal at this
I
point.
don't know, man. You're pretty traumatizing. It's
I think it
your
works
whole deal.
I think the fact that you're acting crazy works to our sanity's benefit.
There you go.
Right.
Um,
I can see it.
So I'm assuming they arrive at the table.
yeah, they arrive at the table.
Knives
Armitage
out.
Armitage is there as well. Rather confused as to why we're here hanging out with Brad, but he's still hopeful that he will get to speak to
Professor
Dr. Vargas
Armitage.
at some point.
I take Professor Armitage's hand in mine. I say, Professor Armitage, it's so glad to meet you. I'm Dr. Vargas.
You...
Yes?
No.
I say, I look at him and I say, "You're not behind. You're just caught up."
Is there a problem, Professor Armitage?
Not a
I sit down and
problem
drink
as
the wine.
much as confusion. It has taken me quite a long time to pursue my doctorate. Something that I never quite completed, in all honesty, and to imagine that you have done so in 2 months is quite alarming.
2 months.
Internet.
I'll have you know, sir. I'll have you know, sir, my education stretches back 25 years. I graduated from Miskatonic University with honors. I went on to Harvard Medical School, and I have been a practicing psychologist for the last 10 years. Would you like to see my credentials?
Is the wine already
swear.
out?
Is there a
Yes.
problem with the people in this town? This is the second time.
I slide another butter knife off the table while he's talking and just lay it in Hannah's lap.
I put one in this side of her shirt, and the other one she'll just put it on the other side.
You just
You don't have any shirts.
make a
In fact, I think you should have a discussion with our waiter. He seems to have the same amount of confusion as you do. Is this a common thing? I mean, I've heard things about what this town does to people's minds, but this is getting a little bit ridiculous.
There is much truth to that, Doctor. It's merely that you bear an incredible resemblance to a rather obsessive roustabout that I once knew.
Very odd.
Your demeanor is not
Well-
at all like his, however. I suppose it depends on how much stock you put in doppelgangers. After he says that, he's like,
I'm not familiar with the term. Is that some sort of local legend? Piece of superstition?
it is unimportant. I apologize. I simply wish to come along to thank you for your intervention on behalf of my companions.
Think nothing of it. I've looked at their files, and I do believe that there were mistakes made in the processing of these two fine individuals. And I glance over again, and I give them that slight little nod.
I give it right back to you as I elbow Elhannah.
What? Well, they didn't listen to me. Try to tell people the truth and they lock you away in a room with pillows on the walls. Quite disturbing.
We seem to be running low on the wine already. You'll pardon me. I'll return in a moment and see if I can't get the attention of that waiter.
That would be
whiskey,
absolutely fantastic. Thank you. I appreciate it.
He goes to chase down Dino and try and find out why he's absolutely snubbing the table right now, leaving the three of you in one another's company.
I turn towards you two, and my demeanor completely changes. I don't trust that fucker.
No, there's no reason to.
Language.
You know what he did? He sent us in there blind. He sent us in there without a clue as to what we were dealing with.
Well, I think he knew more than he was telling us, certainly, right?
Oh, of course.
Absolutely. And he's not going to give us anything.
He knows I had the book.
You have it?
And
You had the book.
had the book.
Right.
When he switches to had,
now?
you can see me physically deflate.
Well, right. Well, where did the book go? And then
I had it, I swear, it feels like just a few minutes ago, but I had it. It's got to be around here somewhere.
We need that book.
That's the issue.
And the
Is that it
last
is
person
around.
we need to give that book to, and I glance back over where Armitage has disappeared, is him.
I'm cool with that. I'll hang on to it.
No.
Where's Barlow?
Well, Travis, friend. Oh,
You remember Travis was hinting at destroying the book 2 months ago?
Yeah.
Now he's saying
I
he'll
know.
protect it.
I'm thinking about it. Travis, soul buddy, old pal. I'm gonna if there's any wine left in that bottle, I'm gonna pour it in a glass and slide it towards Travis.
I'd drink it.
Listen.
Travis doesn't have any connection with chivalry. So he just
That's fair. Listen, buddy. You have a thing, Okay, I'm just going to be honest with you.
brains.
No.
You're right.
Well, I mean, yes.
I learned a lot in London.
Okay, can you when did you go to London? Because I don't remember that. Not that I've been stalking you, but I know everywhere that you've ever been and everything that you've ever done. So I'm a little bit confused as to when you went to London for 2 years.
So about 2 years ago, we went to that Irish bar. Do you remember? We got in a big fight. I jumped in a portal thing, a hole in the wall full of fire, and I grabbed the book. And I had access to it and to that attractive woman that I think you probably had a crush on. Want you to know that I kind of got to know her, if you know what I mean.
Travis.
Yeah, she kind of had a thing for the big guy. I mean, what can I say?
That's fair.
But her name is Saida, by the way, if you never knew it.
No.
She's great. She's really smart. I don't know that her intentions are any better than Armitage's, if I'm being honest, but she's way better looking. I mean, light years better looking. So she took me to London. It was really weird, and I've never been before, but I've been reading a lot of Dickens recently, and it was exactly like I thought it would be. It was real foggy and everybody like dressed in like Victorian clothes and had big tall felt hats. It was awesome. I didn't know London was like that. I figured they were more modern like us, but it's exactly like I thought it was. It's weird. The fog never stops. But anyway, she and I got to know each other really super well, and she kept asking me, "Hey, can I look at the book? Can I look at the book?" And I'm like, "Nah, I kind of want to hang on to the book. I love the book." And there at the end, she was all, "If you give me the book, I'll let you go back to where your friends are. They need your help." And I was like, "Damn, if they need my help, I should probably help them." But you know what? I trenched her right at the end. She opened up the portal and I was like, yoink, and I dived through the portal and I got back to help you guys. Why were y'all still there 2 years later? I hadn't really thought about that. That's weird. Did y'all come back? Did y'all know I was coming back?
Hannah, odds are fairly certain that the story is not going to meander into anything useful. Let me repeat what I said before. Time is not what you think it is.
Oh, okay.
And Travis's little story is a perfect example of this. I don't see why you find this so strange.
Kind of derogatory. I mean, I'm just.
How many times did either of you look through that shard of glass?
Well,
and you can honestly tell me that what I'm telling you is all that strange?
I mean, it's super strange, dude.
Okay. Hold on. Travis?
Yo.
If you were looking at that situation through my eyes, you never left. You certainly were not gone for 2 years. And also, no, London does not look like that. Now, try not to think too hard about that, because I'm worried about you. But, no. It's been 2 months. We've spent that entire 2 months in a prison, hiding pills in our pockets. Possibly that might have just been me. But...
You know, I like the pills.
When she mentions pills, I frown a little bit. I knew it. And then I shake my head.
So...
Anyway, Hannah, do you remember what happened to Travis's bat?
I'm glad somebody else is prioritizing things.
Why does it keep coming back to the bat? Listen, how was I supposed to know that? And I feel like you would see some hesitation here, right? Because she has been institutionalized for long enough. And when you're in an echo chamber of your own thoughts, you start questioning your own reality. So there's definitely some hesitation. She's like, well, I know that I put it somewhere safe, and what happened to it after that is not my fault. I mean, it's ridiculous to say that gravity just stopped working. That doesn't happen.
You know it isn't that ridiculous, and you know the bat went floating off into wherever the gravity was going to take it. Am I correct?
Well, I mean, it definitely left. I don't know how else it would have. I don't know.
Can I just run through a couple of things real quick? You're saying I didn't go to London. Did we all wake up tied to chairs in a sphincter room?
We did.
Okay, so that happened, but the going to London didn't. Did the whole bar turn upside down and gravity break?
I think so. That's what I remember happening anyways. I don't...
It did, and I remember it happening it too, but it did not happen to me. And I know that makes no sense. But, and I reach under the table, and I pull out a bat, and I set it on the table.
Is it the bat?
It is the bat.
Get the fuck out of here. I spin it around and look for the stain from the hamster.
I have no idea what happened to the hamster, but it's like...
The bat!
There's a little hamster shaped stain. Right at the top.
I don't know the story behind the hamster.
I know this made it into my notes somewhere.
Chat is so excited.
I slide it over and I say, okay, I'm willing to entertain that. Maybe I didn't go to London. I mean, look, I get that shit happens. But here's my two questions, because you guys seem to know more about what's going on than I do here outside of London. I mean, I know way more about what's going on in London right now. Where's the book? Where's the girl? When's the last time you saw the book? When's the last time you saw the girl?
And that's what I want to know too.
All right, well, good. We have, once again, our goals are aligned.
The last thing I remember for a blur of...
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm saying the last thing I remember seeing before being somehow in that institution is that room below the bar. I don't know.
Existential is coming up with a very uncomfortable interpretation of this whole situation.
Sassy thinks that is the best of the NPCs.
I tried so hard with Seamus.
Seamus is great.
This is great.
Your conversation
But anyway,
is interrupted as Armitage returns to the table. Says, I'm very sorry about that, my friends, Doctor. I've secured for us a different member of the waitstaff. Hopefully, now we can enjoy some proper service.
Thank you. I appreciate your efforts.
A new bottle of wine is brought to the table and uncorked by a young woman.
At this point, I am starting to get to the point where I have to... Yeah.
by a young woman, hardly out of her teens, with curling blonde hair, who the three of you last saw stretched across Armitage's desk.
And she's the waitress, the server.
And she says,
the nurse.
My name is Annabelle, and I will be taking care of you today.
Awesome.
And that is where we will stop for this
Excellent.
week. Thank you guys for hanging out with us and playing with me tonight. We had a lot of things happen. People went a little crazy. We saw a Shoggoth. We got betrayed. And we have more questions to answer in the next session.
Who betrayed us?
You weren't around for it. Barlow shot Brad twice.
Oh, bro, yeah.
Barlow saw Shoggoth. Rob had me roll his sanity loss, which was a 20.
Yeah,
I thought natural 20.
Maybe he stole the book and then shot everybody.
Oh,
which I think he would have done if he had the opportunity.
He shot everybody, then stole the book. As far as everyone else knows.
This was after the 20-point sanity loss.
Yeah.
From seeing the
Shoggoth. I took a shockingly zero number of hit point deductions during all of that.
I'm sorry. So sorry, Katie. I will get right on that next session. I'm so sorry.
No, that's not...
Is it safe to assume that we had time to recover our health damage while we were 2 months in an asylum?
Yes. We will... I know Brian has to be logging into a thing. So we're going to say our farewells, and we'll handle hit points off camera, perhaps, or at the very least at the start of next session. I'm going to be finding us someone to raid. Katie, would you remind the good people where we're going to be later on this month and what we're going to be doing there?
Yes. So, starting on March the 15th through the 17th, that is a Friday, a Saturday, and a Sunday, myself, Rob, and also Brian up in the corner here are going to be at GalaxyCon in Richmond, Virginia. Now, some of us won't be there officially associated with Misty Mountain Gaming. Myself, personally, I will be a dungeon master running several one-shots in their tabletop RPG section. Rob will also be doing that. We'll also be running several panels, D&D trivia, creating your first character in D&D, basically anything you could possibly want. And I'm sure that Brian will be there officially representing Misty Mountain Gaming with plenty of amazing dice and products for you.
I actually think I am going to be running 1 or 2 games. I'm not sure my exact schedule, but I will also be selling dice. So I'm going to have many hats on over the weekend.
It's going to be real tough for me to decide if I'm going to let other people experience you guys as dungeon masters, or if I'm just going to spend my free time playing y'all's games myself. We were going to be back tomorrow night, as far as I know, with miniature painting, and on to Wednesday back with role-playing games with Spelljammer run by Rifle Stud, playing some D&D. Our schedule on Monday nights will be a little bit in flux, as Brian and I and Katie have some conventions to be going into. Join our Discord if you're not already in our Discord. We'll talk about the schedule in there. We're going to send you guys to Ink and Liar, longtime channel friends of this channel who are also doing some role-playing games tonight. Go say hi to us from them. Tell them all about Shoggoths and how time isn't linear. And say hello from Dr. Vargas, why not? Tell them that we found the demon hamster bat. Whatever that you would like to do. We will look forward to playing together and being with you guys again in the very near future. As we always say at the end of every stream, just in case you don't hear it anywhere else this week, and I hope you hear it often this week, but just in case, please always remember that we love you guys. See you soon!